Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're going to be using a team built around Bellibolt with a hard Trick Room team. I know this might seem a bit familiar, but I promise I think I finally made it work. And if you guys enjoy this and you want to see the ultimate Bellibolt team, leave a like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right into it. First up, of course, we do need Bellibolt. It's not a Bellibolt team without it. I've ultimately settled on a really bulky Bellibolt. Now, this was actually the same spread that was utilized in the last time that I brought Bellibolt, not the actual dedicated Bellibolt team, but the Hail team with Back Caliber Trick Room. So basically, this is designed just to take on a lot of different physical threats. I was talking with my friend Bird afterwards, and he said it just meant to be handling a lot of different physical threats in the meta. Like, for example, I know this can take a hit from Garchomp, which is pretty cool. I'm not really sure the hyper specifics of the EVs themselves, but it's basically just what it was. And I was told just steal Cybertron spread, it works pretty well. So that's what I did for this team. Shout out to Hopeless, by the way. Hopeless gave me a lot of the ideas for the team, though I ended up constructing a little bit differently than how we talked about, and I'll get into that in a second. But ultimately, though, with the 19 speed, this is designed to have an Oranguru, which, spoilers, we brought Oranguru here. It's kind of a necessary partner for Bellibolt, but with Oranguru, we should always be actually attacking first in Trick Room, so that way then I can fire off a Bulldoze and then activate Weakness Policy before Bellibolt attacks. This will also charge up Electromorphosis, and with the Terra Electric, we should do an insane amount of damage. Not only this, but with Parabolic Charge, we're able to use a spread move that will get infinite recovery, and in tandem with Oranguru, it actually can't even take the damage because of telepathy, making this such an impossible mon to kill in Trick Room. It really is kind of a monster once you get it set up. It just takes like the couple turns. Up next up, we do have Grimmsnarl. This is a nice assistance in terms of getting stuff set up with Trick Room. We have Reflect, Misty Terrain, Parting Shot, and Light Screen. The dual screens just are meant to handle other physical threats and special threats as well, but mostly physical, truthfully, is what we needed the screens for. If you had to ditch a move for an attack and you felt like you were a bit taunt bait, you could probably ditch Light Screen. In my opinion, you're mostly scared of mons like Garchomp, less so scared of mons like Torkoal, though I do value both screens here personally. With the Misty Terrain as well, this should stop Bellibolt from getting status, which is pretty valuable. So this helps a lot with these Spore matchups, especially if we can't get up a substitute, which that's actually why we have sub in the set to begin with, is to sub before Moongus comes in and then avoid Spore completely in that matchup. And it also helps a bit with trying to get up Trick Rooms easier on last turns. So there's a few different ways that it could end up being valuable, but ultimately I end up utilizing Grim mostly as that piece to try and make it so we need to click substitute less on Bellibolt. Up next here, we do have Oranguru. Now, I've already went into a lot of what Oranguru does here, but it's really just meant to be a Bulldoze mon. With Energy Ball, it's specifically for Gastrodon because it's the one mon in the entire meta that's currently run that Bellibolt cannot actually touch. Anything else is something that I'm sure I'll get a comment about, but it's nothing that I felt practical enough to really try and target him on for. Gastrodon has at least a couple % of usage though, so I figured it made sense to throw Energy Ball in the set. We're relaxed Figure Def just because of the fact that really I already had a Spidef mon anyway on this team, which I'll get into in a bit. But I figured why not throw the Spidef on the Fizdef onto Oranguru. Well, actually, I guess Grim was the Spidef mon. I already went into that. But the point being, though, is that ultimately Bellibolt can't really damage this at all, which is great outside of, I guess, maybe specifically targeting it with Thunderbolt, and that's really about it. Which is pretty valuable, though. These two in tandem make a great partnership, and with the Terra Dark, I can avoid Prankster taunts. Meanwhile, with Safety Goggles, it's great to avoid the Spores from Silver and Moongus. Up next, we do have Hariyama with Flame Orb. This is ultimately one of the best lead options I have on the team in tandem with Oranguru. It allows me to get up Trick Room pretty near guaranteed. We have Wide Guard to stop stuff like Expanding Force Armor Rouge, which means I don't need to burn Terra as quickly, though I have the opportunity to in case I want to go for knockoff. And I still have Close Combat and Fake Out, which are great for a majority of matchups here. I threw the investment into Spidef because while I know that the set that Cybertron was running with Oranguru had Fizdef investment on this, I figured there's not really a reason to avoid going to Spidef. For one, for example, if we take the Armor Rouge set and we put in Hariyama on the other side, and we go with Spidef, at the very least, if it is not a Life Orb set, Armor Rouge cannot actually KO me with Armor Cannon, which is pretty cool, like if it's just modest weakness policy. Whereas if this ends up being a Life Orb set, well, if we throw in a Fizdef, Armor Cannon actually does guarantee the KO. And keep in mind, this is actually with the sun up even. If we go with the Life Orb set, we take this actually guaranteed with both variations. Or actually, no, that's a lie. We can't take it with the Armor Cannon if we're not Spidef, but with Spidef we can. So really the only time that Armor actually KOs Hariyama ever is with the Life Orb Armor Cannon in the sun, which we can avoid setting up our own sun actually by just not bringing Torkoal. But we do have Torkoal on this team though. It wouldn't be a Trick Room team without the Charcoal Torkoal because I've seen it a million times. I threw in Earth Power here solely just to handle mons that Bellibolt might struggle with. I could have thrown on Solar Beam as well, but I have a Grass type in the back actually for Mon 6, so I didn't really figure that was worthwhile. But for different random steel types that might have Earthquake, like Terra Steel Garchomp, for example, we have the Eruption, and we have the Heat Wave. We also have a single target Earth Power, which is valuable in tandem with Wide Guard mons, but it's also just valuable for other Bellibolts or really just other slower electric types. Final mon on the team we have, though, is Arbolivo with the Citrus Berry. Now, I forget what I did the bulk for. I know it was for some sort of either Trick Room offense or for Garchomp. I'm forgetting which specifically. I know the special attack with Quiet Nature, though, you don't actually need investment. You just need the Quiet Nature. And this will ensure that with Arbolivo, you're actually able to guarantee an Earth Power KO on Torkoal, even if it's modest max HP. And I will say, though, one thing that I did notice afterwards, if you take out 16 and bump in the Fizz Def and you bump that down from 204 to 188, you can move the 16 into Spidef, and you actually guarantee take a Specs Eruption from Torkoal. I know that Specs Eruption isn't exactly the set that Torkoal's really running right now. It's typically Charcoal, but for anyone who might be worried about Specs Torkoal in this matchup, it is something to note, and I do think it's a valuable calc that I overlooked actually in prep, and I didn't notice it until trying to recalc out what the fuck I did on the bulk on this Pokemon, so it is something to keep in mind. Terra Ground is mostly to get around that Torkoal weakness, though, while boosting Earth Power, which is essential here because it's a way to damage Torkoal without having Terra up, so unlike Terra Blast, you don't need Terra up for this, and it's also a good way to at least get rid of your weakness to Torkoal, which is valuable. And if we went with like a Terra Water, for example, we're still weak to Solar Beam either way with Ground, Rock, or Water, and on top of that as well, we're doing less in the Sun, so ultimately, I thought the Ground was the best case here. Sorry for the extra long team builder, I thought the team really warranted it this week. We'll see you guys in the battles though, peace out guys. Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're going to be taking on the Battle Spot ladder with a Bellibolt Trick Room team. I know I've done this before a couple times, but today's, I think I've actually found the secret. I've found the secret. Shoutouts to my good friend Hopeless for the idea for the team. I built it around a lot of Hopeless's suggestions, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're taking on Dragapult, Kilowattrel, Armarouge, Indeedee, Meowscarada, and then Azumarill. Okay, so looking at their team, unless they're bringing non-Psychic Terrain and Indeedee, they don't really have a fake out option here, which is good. What I'm going to opt for, I'm going to opt for Hariyama and Oranguru as my lead. I feel like it's a pretty strong lead here overall. Their team is fairly weak to Bellibolt, actually. The only real resistances here are the Kilowattrel, which might be Volt Absorb, I guess. It's a rare ability to run on it, though. And then the Pult and Meowscarada, and that's really it. I'm going to bring Torkoal in the back as well. Actually, yeah, I'm going to bring Torkoal. Nope, I'm not going to bring Torkoal. I'm going to bring Arboliva, actually. I like Arboliva a lot here. It should be decent for stuff like the Armarouge and for the Azumarill, and I think this might actually be my Terramon in this game, because we're Terra Ground on this set, actually, so that should boost the power of Earth Power against this team, and Armarouge will be a pretty decent check to Torkoal anyway, though I do have Earth Power on my set. It won't really matter, mostly just considering the fact that it won't really matter if they ended up being Terra Grass anyway. So we're going to see the Ice Spam lead here. It's perfectly fine, actually. I don't really mind this at all. Basically, what I'm going to opt for here, strictly because they let off with Ice Spam, I'm going to go for Trick Room here. Meanwhile, I'm going to pop my Terrestrial Dark, and I'm going to use that on the Armarouge here. If they don't go for Terra on their own end, then that's fine, but if nothing else, it does look like that we are the only one that went for Terra this turn, actually, because my Hariyama should guarantee underpace, which is pretty valuable here. They're probably going to go for Expanding Force, mostly to try and target the Hariyama, or they're going to go for Armor Cannon strictly into Oranguru. So they are going to go for Expanding Force here, perfectly fine. We do wall the Hariyama. We do wall with the Hariyama, and Oranguru takes like nothing from this. Meanwhile, they're going to go for Psyshock into Oranguru. Again, perfectly fine. It's negligible damage, and this armor should be completely taken out at this point. So incredible lead here. Turn 1 paid off really well for us, actually. So we know that this Indeedee is Psychic Surge, and it has the Psyshock. Okay, this is good to know. They're probably going to go hard into Azumarill here. I feel like it's a pretty reasonable play for them to make, which is honestly perfectly fine. I don't really mind that a lot. They would basically need to be minus speed or dropping speed IVs in their Azumarill to actually underpace us. They're actually going to go into Kilowattrel here, which this leads me to believe they did not bring Azumarill at all, actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to beat them on lead. We're going to go for Indeedee, and we're going to click Knock. Actually, am I? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just to stop opposing Trick Room. I mostly just... Oh, they're going to cancel the battle. Okay, well, that was a great game 1. Let's get into game 2 then. Okay, so moving on to game 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Murkrow, Hydreigon, Garchomp, Arcanine, Breloom and Goldango. Okay, so definitely a fairly interesting comp to say the least. I'm 100% leading off Oranguru, Hariyama again. It's a pretty free lead. Typically, if you're using this team on your own, guys, make sure you're using this. It's almost like a surefire win for your lead. We're going to bring Torkoal in the back for sure, and I'm going to go with Bellibolt as my final mon. Bellibolt really only should... Actually, no. I'm gonna go Arboliva again. Am I? I think I am. I could go Grim. Grim is also pretty viable here. I think I'm going to go Arboliva, though. This team is a little bit of a chomp issue, but it's not too bad. Realistically, between Grimshaw having screens, obviously, we also have Misty Terrain for dragon attacks, but Arboliva is also a pretty decent offensive response, especially just clicking Giga Drain after the Seed Sower pops, and Chomp can't really just definitively take me out with that. So honestly, I'm pretty okay with this. But make sure, of course, if you're enjoying, leave a like and subscribe at this point. I don't know if I remember to set a like goal, but we're gonna aim for 30 likes in this video. We're gonna aim for 30. So I'll try and remember that for the team builder, but we're gonna aim for 30 likes. This is your mid-video reminder. And yeah, let's hope that Bellibolt pops. Let's hope that it pops. I have total faith in the Bolt. The Bolt will be sweeping this game, unless my opponent forfeits again, which I mean they might. But yeah, good luck and fun to my opponent though, and yeah, let's get into it. So in terms of the first mon, let's see. They're gonna lead off with Garchomp and Murkrow. Okay, this is fine. So Garchomp Murkrow is honestly not a big deal. What I'm going to do, I'm just gonna go for Trick Room here, and actually I'm gonna go for Terra Dark. This is a really good instance of why we have Terra Dark on Oranguru, specifically for these Murkrow matchups, because now I can actually just fake out into Garchomp, and I don't care if Murkrow doesn't get fake outed or not. This avoids the Terra Ghost sets that have been going around very weirdly. I mean, no, I get why, but I just don't know why you'd click it, to be fair. But this avoids a lot of other scenarios as well. Like, for example, this stops me from actually caring about Murkrow at all, because either, like, A, it'll foul play, I guess, to my Oranguru, which won't do anything. It might Brave Bird Hariyama, which is a worst case scenario. Which, if we really outline it, Hariyama is just meant to stop the potential for a Tailwind lead. Not the Tailwind lead, to stop my Trick Room lead. That's all it's meant to do, is to stop my opponents from stopping it. So, if my opponent really kills Hariyama, is it really that big of a deal? I don't think so. But they're going to go into Arcanine here. They do have Intimidate. Pretty obvious, obviously, but I think I mentioned this before, but I don't like taking notes and things unless I know definitively they have happened in game. This stops from people obviously bringing really random stuff, like maybe they brought Justified beat up Arcanine, or maybe they just brought the wrong Arcanine on their team altogether. So it's for anyone, I guess, as well, if you're looking into, I guess, why I did that. That's why I said it so unobviously. We do know that the Murkrow does have Taunt now, which is good to note. So Taunt Murkrow, good to know. This obviously helps a ton because we have essentially now guaranteed that we can actually just fire off Instructs as well, which will help make up for that damage difference from no longer having the attack at neutral stage. So we're gonna go for close combat here into the Arcanine. Two of these should easily take out Arcanine. I actually have like no concern about this. But realistically, between Oranguru and Hariyama here, again, really powerful lead versus their team. Their only actual switch into fighting is Goldango. So if they did not bring Goldango as mon number 4, we're pretty set here. Because honestly, this lead just wins. Which even still, again, a little bit annoyed. The Bellibolt hasn't been able to pop off. But I think that this might just turn into a Hariyama showcase, similar to how yesterday's turned into a Furgraph showcase. Which, that would work. I haven't used Hariyama, actually. They're gonna go for Taunt. This doesn't really matter, actually. Unless they start clicking Rock Slide or Earthquake with Garchomp, they don't, or I guess for Make It Rain. It does matter for Make It Rain, to be fair. Oh, right, because I don't underpace at the current moment. Okay, well, that's still not a big deal. I completely forgot about that little point, though. But again, not really a huge concern. They're going to pop Citrus, so be it. Honestly, I'm just going to... What am I going to do here? They're going to Flare Blitz. What mon are they going to Flare Blitz? Oh, Oranguru? Okay, that's fucking easy. Yeah, I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to Instruct in close combat again. I have no reason not to, actually. It definitively is always in my best interest to do this. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm specifically going to... Actually, no, I'm going to Instruct into Knockoff. This might seem a little bit random, but the reason for this set of plays is in case they switch to Goldango. That way then I surefire get an attack off in that slot. Because this would be the mon they would try and preserve, if anything. They do not try and preserve Arcanine, which is still fine, actually. This means that we're clearing a Violet on Murkrow, which still actually has a lot of merit here, to be fair. So I'll definitely take that. Clearing a Violet on Murkrow, if nothing else, should be decent, I guess, if we need to attack it with... well, we wouldn't really need to attack it with anything besides Bellibolt, which should OHKO it anyway. But it's still not a terrible thing to knock off Murkrow. And I do think that the safety net of just KOing Goldengo, especially now that I can't just click Wide Guard on it right now, is, if nothing else, a good thing here. They're gonna have Foul Play. This is fine. Again, we're still the slowest mon on the field. So the only way that would change is if they go into Breloom hard here, which I'm also okay with that. So we're gonna be pretty okay. Ideally, they go into Hydreigon. I think for me, that's the best thing. They're gonna go into Garchomp. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm gonna proceed to do, I'm gonna go for Instruct here, and I'm gonna go for the Close Combat. And the two of these should, while we will 100% die this turn, especially if Chomp protects, we will die this turn because we'll just die to Murkrow. I'm still fine with this because we just bring in Bellibolt, and Bellibolt should be pretty fine against their team in general. Especially because I could just pop a weakness policy. I'm really hoping they actually go for Terra Ground specifically, because Terra Ground will actually mean that Bellibolt can just completely sweep Garchomp. Otherwise, it's a little bit hazy, but not a huge concern either way. So we're going to really hope for that Terra Ground pop right now, because that would honestly set me up for a strong win. They're going to go for Tailwind here. Okay, that's fine. I don't really mind Tailwind, truthfully. I think I still have one more turn anyway. But the fact they left Garchomp just completely open should be pretty valuable for me, in my opinion. And this also, honestly, just puts it in range of the Muddy Water anyway. So Hariyama's going to faint. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're going to, in the meanwhile, take an Earthquake from Garchomp. Okay, that's fine. So Earthquake goes off. We're going to go into Bellibolt. We still have one more turn. And even if my opponent goes for, even if they go for Protect, I might actually get a little ballsy with this. I'm not sure if I want to. I could. I definitely could. We're going to go for Bulldoze, though. And I think I'm actually going to go for a, how many more turns to trigger him up? We have one more turn. Fuck it. I'm gonna go for Substitute. Because if they go for Protect on Garchomp here, this essentially should secure me the game. If they go for Earthquake, that's fine. This mon wasn't living either way, and I do actually need to switch out into Arboliva like immediately. Get rid of my weakness policy, which is a little unfortunate, but it's something that I'm willing to take the chance on here. Because I think that the long term of this will be much more beneficial. Garchomp would have to always attack first. They're gonna go for Protect. Beautiful. That worked out so fucking well for me. I have this on here mostly, by the way, for, they're gonna go for Taunt. Oh, asshole. What an asshole. Okay, that's a little unfortunate, actually. Okay. This is definitely not how I foresaw that. But you know what? I have faith in Bellibolt. We're fairly defensive, actually, and this thing has no item for the Garchomp. So maybe we just take it out. Maybe we just take it out. I don't think it's that out there, to be honest. And even still, Arboliva honestly might be able to clean this game on its own anyway. The one exception will be if Hydreigon came, but that's kind of a rough matchup anyway at this point. So we're going to hope that no Hydreigon came, because they might not have. Depending on their set, actually, it might be a bad idea for them to have brought Hydra. We're going to go for the Muddy Water here, though. Just try and take out the Chomp. I don't really have a reason to Parabolic Charge until the following turn. So they're actually going to pop Terrestrial here. It's probably Terrestrial Ground. I can't imagine they would pop any other type, because they're probably just trying to ensure the KO. Terrestrial Ground. Okay, beautiful. So they're Ground. Okay. So they're going to go for Earthquake here. This isn't a huge concern. I mean, Bellibolt might still take this. We're fairly defensive on Bellibolt, actually. How much does this do? 61. Beautiful. Okay. So as long as Murkrow doesn't foul play, we're actually pretty set. Well, actually, no. Murkrow probably foul played. So I guess how much does Murkrow foul play do? So we're going to have to find out. We're going to be living this by the skin of our teeth. Beautiful. Oh my god, that worked out perfectly. That worked out so perfectly. This mon's a demon. This better have hit All right, Garchomp. I swear to god. Okay, beautiful. Hit Garchomp. I was so fucking worried. Murkrow being around, though, truthfully, that might be actually better for me. I can't lie. Because next turn... oh, shit, no, because I couldn't get my Trick up. Okay, so Bellibolt's gone. It's still not a huge deal, actually. But I would be lying if I said it wasn't rough. Hydreigon's here. Okay, so this is just a loss. This is just a loss, objectively. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. So what I'm going to proceed to do, I'm going to proceed to go for the Giga Drain, and I'm just going to keep hoping that I can somehow live. Maybe they'll try and take out the Arboliva. For what it's worth, this thing does actually run Gleam sometimes, so maybe they do value taking this thing out. Our set just doesn't have it. I valued having Protect on this one. Oh, they're going to the Arboliva. Oh my god, did they KO Arboliva instead? Because that might actually give me an out. That might give me a legitimate out here. If they targeted Arboliva here, that's so good for me. That might be the thing that does it. I can't lie. Please go into Arboliva. Go into Arboliva. Fuck. Okay. No. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate, to say the least. But you know what? Not a huge concern. Okay. I kind of wish I went for Parabolic Charge, but it should be fine. This Hydreigon probably will still take me out. I feel like I can't imagine it wouldn't, in all honesty. But essentially what I need to do, I need to just keep going for Giga Drains. And I need to hope that one of these crits. That's really what I need to do. Because I need to just get a lot of HP back as quickly as possible. They're going to go for Haze. Okay, so they're just gonna go for Draco Spam. I think this will just KO. I don't know why I didn't anticipate Haze here. Oh shit, we dodged. Okay, well that's one way to win this. But essentially I just need to keep dodging. That's what I need to keep doing. Impossible? It's unlikely, but I mean, I guess technically it is still possible. Especially if Murkrow ends up going for like, well, it definitely isn't going to go for Tailwind. It might go for Taunt, to be fair. I could have went for Protect, in all honesty, but I don't know. I feel like they're just going to try and dual target. They get the KO anyway. Unfortunate, but you know what? It is what it is. A very close game. It's a good game to my opponent, and we'll get into our final game in just a second. Until then, peace out, guys. Okay, and we are here with our final game of the day. I am determined for Bellibolt to win this one. If not, then I'm changing it to Hariyama, and you will never know, except for the fact I've said it. Oopsies. Garchomp, Grimmsnarl, Annihilate, Rotom, Wash, Corviknight, and Gengar. Okay. So, fairly interesting comp to say the least. As far as their team goes, they're probably a Tailwind team. They're probably built around Tailwind Corviknight. This team is actually super fucking weak to Bellibolt. Outside of the Garchomp, I think everything else can be perfectly managed. So, I just need to bring the same... No. I'm actually going to ditch Arboliva. Weirdly enough, I haven't brought a single Torkoal game. But I don't think Torkoal's that great this matchup either. Between Rotom and Garchomp, they're two pretty fucking amazing checks. This just was not kind to Torkoal. I'm going to bring the Grimm, though, because I do think that Grimm actually has some merit setting screens for stuff like Annihilate, especially if it gets set up pretty well. So we're gonna have to see. I feel confident, though. I feel very confident, actually, that we can make this work. Realistically, we just need to KO the Chomp. We just need to KO the Chomp, which I think we can manage to do. Just depends on their lead. And who knows, maybe they won't respect Bellibolt, and maybe they won't bring it, but they're probably going to bring it because it's also great for Torkoal. But good luck and fun. If I had to predict the lead, I think it's probably going to be Annihilate and then Corviknight. I feel like they're going to go for it for some sort of like Tailwind lead. Though they could also get a lot of merit with Grimm and Annihilate. Rotom and Gengar, that is like the last 2 months I thought would lead. The literal last 2 months I thought would lead this game. But you know what? Okay. We're going to go for the knockoff into the Gengar spot because I don't actually value Rotom at all. I don't really care about it. And we're going to go for the Trick Room here. I don't really have any reason to actually Terra in this game because there's no Prankster Dark type. I guess the only Prankster Dark type would be Grimm, which does not reared its ugly head yet. They're going to go for Shadow Ball and Gengar. Okay, this is perfectly fine. That did a lot, but it was a crit, so okay, that's fine. We still take both of those, actually, which is amazing for us. Hariyama should still guarantee get an attack off next turn, which is pretty fucking amazing. I'm going to use that to attack into the Rotom spot, just solely for the fact that it could, in theory, actually Terra out of the resistance. So what I'll probably end up doing, I'm going to Energy Ball into Gengar, because it's only at 1 HP, and I want to just nuke Rotom. I want to absolutely massacre that fucker. So we're going to go for close combat here into the Rotom, and I'm going to go for the Energy Ball here into the Gengar. This should take out both Pokemon, barring Protects, which if they go for Protect, so be it. If they go for Switching as well, so be it. I'm not really too concerned with this. So, if I had to guess, they have Gengar Rotom as lead. That's so fucking weird. Okay, well, we've revealed Focus Sash, at least. It was pretty obvious, but still obviously nice to have that. They're going to go into Garchomp here. Okay. They're going to go for Protect on Rotom, so be it. Okay. We're going to get some damage off on this at the very least, which, I mean, that's... Oh, that was a crit? Okay, well, it's not too bad. Okay, so I think we have one more final turn with the Garchomp. I'm just going to proceed to go for... a close combat into the Rotom spot. Because I think that Garchomp is probably going to go for... I'm curious how the Instruct mechanic works, so I'm just going to go for Instruct here anyway. Because worst case scenario, I claim extra KO. I'm not sure if it'll work though because I failed to land that attack, but we'll see what we can manage. They do go for Protect on Chomp, that's fine. We're just gonna ensure the extra security against Rotom then, which I'm perfectly fine with. We died of Burn anyway this turn, and I could bring in Bellibolt for free, which should actually be very valuable. Because what I can manage to do... Actually, no, I'm not gonna go into Bellibolt. I'm gonna go into Grim. I'm gonna go into Grim, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go Grim here. So we're going to KO the Rotom, which should be actually amazing for us. So what's probably gonna end up happening here is they're probably just going to go for Earthquake on Chomp. They have already lost their Rotom, which is great. Potential ground immunity, so their whole team should be affected by Bulldoze as well, which is something, I guess. Albeit, I don't know how much it'll matter. The one exception will be Corviknight, but Corviknight coming in is fine. Hariyama, you did your job. Good job, Hariyama. We're gonna definitely go into the Grim. We're gonna go to Grim. Because all I need to do is go for a Reflect here, and then I can go for Parting Shot on Chomp. Well, actually, no, I probably won't go for Parting Shot on Chomp because it's most likely Clear Amulet, and it will completely fail. What I will go for it on is the Annihilate, though. That is such a free mon to go for it on. We're going to go for a Reflect here, and I'm going to go for a Energy Ball, and we're going to just attack the Garchomp. No reason not to. Meanwhile, on the Annihilate spot, so really what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to weaken the Garchomp. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it so it can do as little damage to Bellibolt as possible, because then I can just keep clicking Parabolic Charge until I get the free endgame with Muddy Water. But I want to make sure I'm taking out the... Well, actually, no, I'll probably just Thunderbolt and Annihilate. Because going for Thunderbolt into the Annihilate means I just click Muddy Water at the endgame. Bellibolt could click Parabolic, to be fair, but it's not a huge concern of mine. Alright, Bulk Up goes off. This is fine. Okay. And then what's Garchomp going to do? Rock Slide? Okay. So they're going to go for Rock Slide and Protect so far. This is fine. Yeah, Garchomp does no damage. No damage at all. We're going to Parting Shot here. And I'm going to go for, again, another Energy Ball into the Garchomp. Really, all I need to do is just keep on weakening this Annihilate. They're going to go for Protect on Garchomp. That's fine. That means they did not click it on Annihilate, which is perfect for me. Parting Shot should go off. This, again, just is really meant to secure that we're taking nothing from this team. Oh, right, they're Defiant. Shit. I always forget about that. So we've essentially boosted this to +3, but I'm still not too concerned because we have the Reflect up, but oh my god, that was a dumb play. That was a really dumb play. I always forget about this. I forget about this interaction every time. I don't know why I keep forgetting about this interaction, but I've made this mistake probably, to put in perspective, I've been using this team, I've probably used it about 15 times on Showdown Ladder, and I fought about 6 Annihilates, and in at least half of them I made this mistake. Thankfully they don't go for an attack, so I got bailed the same way I get bailed every time in this situation. So Twisted Dimensions return to normal, fine. We're going to sack Grimmsnarl here, and I'm going to actually no. I need to bank on them not doing that. We're gonna go for Thunderbolt here into Annihilate. I'm actually gonna go for Terra Electric here just because that's how I need to make up the difference. And then we're gonna go for Trick Room here. I can go for my weakness policy next turn. It's not a huge concern. But essentially what I need to do, I just need to make sure the Annihilate is fucking gone. Which is what I'm going to hope for. I'm really going to hope for it. I will say that Rage Fist is really weak though. And they're essentially only +2. I think they might actually, we might take this weirdly enough. Garchomp's going to go for Earthquake. Okay, that's fine. I will say that's a free way to boost the Annihilate. That was also going to boost my weakness policy. They would need to target right into Bellibolt here though, which I'm fine with that. Because weirdly enough, I think that Oranguru Oranguru definitely cannot pull it off. I essentially could never win this. They're gonna Drain Punch. Oh my god, they went into Oranguru. They fucking choked. They choked so badly there. Because Oranguru can never win this with Grim, objectively speaking. They probably thought I had Spirit Break and were banking on not getting crit, but that gave me the win. That objectively gave me the win there. Because now all I need to do is click Muddy Water. Okay, I got really fucking bailed. I should not have won this game ever. In zero circumstances, I should have ever won this game. I hope someone calls me out for the comments because that was so fucking bad. I need to stop making that mistake. I'm actually, specifically, if I ever run Grim again on another team, let me see, because tomorrow's team actually also has Grim on it. Clutch Pass to be a team with Garganacl for tomorrow. Does this team have Parting Shot on Grim? Because I think I just need to take it off. I need to be banned from using Garganacl here. Okay. So we're going to just click Instruct on Bellibolt just to take out the Garchomp. Just take out the Gengar. Battle was cancelled. Okay, that's fine. That's fine as well. I need to double check this because I'm taking Parting Shot off of Grim. I can't be trusted with this move. Oh no, it doesn't have Grim. I'm stupid. I'm really stupid. I read I don't know where I got Grim from. But you know what? That's good. That's good that we don't have it, because it would be very bad of me to have Grim on a team, I think, at this point. I need to be banned from using it. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed anyway. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more. Shout out to the channel members, of course, being Josh, aka Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke0, Matt O'Shea, Nox, Nocturnal, and Koemi. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated on the channel, especially through this January where ads are rough. If you want to support the channel, get some extra members content once a week, I should say. Make sure to click that join button down below. We also have links to Twitter and Discord where you can support the channel even further as well. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're bringing the salty boy, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, guys.